Have you ever put your kids in a kids club during the summer or at Easter break? Have you ever thought about the benefits for those children? Because actually, as parents, we sometimes just need a bit of space for ourselves, a bit of time. We've got to carry on with work. But actually, have we thought about the benefits for the children themselves going into those holiday clubs? Well, I am joined on the Resilient Kid podcast by the lovely Helen today. So I'm going to ask Helen to introduce herself in a moment. But welcome to the Resilient Kid podcast with me, Ashley Costello. Hi, Helen. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me in your box podcast today. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. So, my world is everything children and families within the local area of Cheshire and the Northwest. So, I work for Funfest Holiday Clubs and also new venture Gootopia.
Yes, I can't wait to hear all about Utopia. It just sounds so exciting, so exciting. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you come to be involved with, and I'm really excited for you to share this because I know the answer to this, but how did you get involved in holiday clubs?
So with the holiday clubs, it was quite an adventure. We were trying to move house, and of course, it didn't go smooth to plans, moving from Lancashire to Cheshire, and the house move got delayed by 3 months. So I needed a job for the summer. Looked for a holiday club as I'd worked the EuroCamp previous, so it was quite a quick win for me. Found Funfest in Hartford, knew the area. Yep, brilliant. Became club manager for that summer in 2018, and then by the end of summer, the word franchise got thrown about. And I was like, what is a franchise? I had no idea. And the whole concept of franchising, understanding it was similar to McDonald's, where people own territories. And the gentleman who was due to take on the territory where Funfest Hartford originally was had recently pulled out, and there became an opportunity for me to become a franchisee, which I did with my dear husband, Wes. And in January 2019, the territory of Cheshire West and the club Funfest Hartford became under our ownership.
That's amazing. So that's not what I thought you was going to say. I thought you might talk about, because I didn't realize you'd been involved with Eurocamps as well. I thought you were going to talk about butling.
About Woodlands,
Yeah. Was you got a red coat or a blue coat, or have I made that up?
yeah, no, so I used to work for Thomas Cook as an
There you go.
entertainment manager. So I did
There
work
you go.
overseas as well, doing all the children's activities, mini discos, good old game of bingo and the game shows. I was part of that annoying team that when you're on holiday and you want to chill out, that the music's blaring at you with the midday quiz. But no, it was great fun. That was my other life, even before doing the EuroCamp as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of so how I know Helen, just for all the listeners, is a mutual friend of ours, Sue France, who is the queen of connecting in Cheshire, as we like to call her. And she does lots of events and stuff. And actually, Helen and I met on one of those networking events. And we always talk about Helen being a red coat, because if you need a raffle, if you need like to stall because the guest speaker is late or anything, we always pull Helen up, and she's absolutely brilliant. She's had us doing some amazing games over the years. And so I always knew it was a red coat, but I just assumed that was Butlins, but it actually wasn't. Oh, brilliant. That's great. So tell us a little bit about, what do you think of it? I mean, I've got like hundreds of benefits that kids have joining up to holiday clubs. What do you see, Helen, in your clubs around Cheshire? What do you see that the benefits that the kids are getting?
I think if I had to do a top three, which again, the list is endless, but my top three would be number one, routine, especially with the summer holidays that extend to the break parents. I'm sure you pull your hair out by the end of 3 weeks, let alone 6 weeks. But it's such a long time for them to be out of the typical school routine, typical day, when to eat, when to play, when to snack, when to think about work or focus on something that is even reflected when teachers have been talking to us. It's almost like in September, they can tell children who have been to a holiday club because they're more settled. And this is really important for children, because if they're thrown off balance, they're into a routine, and then they kind of lose their way a little bit. And this can cause then so many emotions because they're then used to doing a completely different way, that they have to learn another task, usually along with other new endeavours. So if they're in a new school year, new friends, new subjects, new titles and things as well. And it can be quite overwhelming for both the child and the parents if they don't keep up some sort of routine. And this is all children, regardless of what their background or if they need any particular support or anything like that. And I think it also helps the parents as well, because I think one of the funniest things I've heard from a parent is they turn into feeding machines. And literally, it's like non-stop eating throughout the day, and they just eat them out of house and home. And snacking turns into a bit of a bad habit. So routine's definitely one. Secondly, dependent on the child's circumstances, if they're an only child or a sibling, A, everybody gets on with their siblings, but there is a point that you like your own space. So although it's great to spend time together, you also need that space away. And with our clubs, although we do have 3 to 12-year-olds, there's an opportunity for siblings to be together, but also with their own friend appropriate groups. So then also, if they're only children, it gives the opportunity to bond, form relationships, meet other children, because we open up to everybody, not just the host school. We rent the school. So it's not specific club for that specific school. It's for everybody in the local area to come along. And we've seen some fantastic friendships formed that they never would have had that opportunity. Same if they go to any holiday club, whether it's specialised football, drama or anything. This is where children can really meet some fantastic friends, an opportunity they may never have done. Same as if they go away for holiday, we're that environment where it's fun, it's not school, everybody relaxes a little bit, can be themselves more, there's no stigmas or expectations. Yeah, it just really, really brings out the children. So we have the routine, we have obviously meeting with other boys and girls, but also the third most important is they have the opportunity in a very safe space to learn new skills, or they can enhance the ones they've already got. So, for example, if we put circus on, somebody never in their life may have attempted juggling, but they give it a go. It might have been their second calling, or they might go, I'm never doing that ever again. So, again, it's just having that little taster sessions of things that, again, they might not have the chance to do during the term time.
That's really important for me. As a psychotherapist, one of the reasons that Helen and I kind of got chatting, and actually we don't stop, do we? When we're together, we come up with all these like amazing ideas. It's brilliant. But for me, it's a safe space to try new things, to be a little bit braver with kids that are not going to judge you, because most of them, yes, we go to holiday club with some friends, but we make new ones, and I think it's really lovely because it feels like all the judgy bits are left at school. That children are embarrassed about trying it because the staff get involved in it. They make fools of themselves trying to juggle, stuff like that. So I really think that it's a real leveler, and it really helps build that confidence as well. And I think the other thing that you said about kind of routine, they don't have to go to holiday club every single day to keep that little bit of a routine, but it's one thing that I bang on about from the very minute that they leave, for the summer holiday, especially the summer holidays, but any holiday, to the minute that they go back, is keep some kind of form of routine, because it helps children feel safe. I often talk about my kids. Now, my kids are a little bit older now, they're both teens, college, one's kind of year 10, but in the summer holidays, they still have to do some work. Even if it's just pick up a book for half an hour, do some maths online for half an hour, just to keep their brain oiled. And I think that's a lovely thing about your kids' camps, is because they have, they've got a regular routine of snack time and lunchtime. They also know that there's going to be, you always have like visual timetables up, which I think is brilliant. They know what's happening for the week, whether they're coming for one day or 3 days, or every day of the week. And I think it's so important because it helps our kids feel safe. And so when they go back to school, they've not had days and days where they've been on the devices. And I'm not knocking that, because we all have a day on the devices. We all have a day where it's just movie day, or you don't get out your pajamas. And that's brilliant. On a regular routine really helps, keep the kids feeling safe, so that when they go back to school, they're used to it. They already know what's going to happen. They know there's a certain snack time and stuff like that. So yeah, I really like that. Um, One thing that I really love about the way you run your kids camps, Helen, and this was a bit of a surprise to me, and it's a surprise to parents, I know this. And by the way, most of you are listening to this. Helen's like looking at me now as if to go, oh, it's going to be a surprise to me as well, actually, what this question is. But one of the things is that
There's which one?
you always are really inclusive with your kids' camps, and you actively encourage parents to say, listen, if your kids anything from a little bit quirky, they like a certain thing, or they are neurodiverse, or they've been assessed for ADHD or autism or dyslexia, tell us about it, because then we can support that child having the best time. So tell us, how do you and your team create that? It's a very safe, it's a very inclusive environment. How do you do that, Helen? Because it is brilliant and I think quite unique to you.
Yeah, so we take it to the next level. I'm really fortunate to have somebody who supports term time as well. So we're preempting this even before coming into club, whether we know the children. I'm very clear this is our email address, contact us anytime. Now, what we found over the years, because it's only 7 years that we've been running the Funfest Holiday Clubs, is that any little thing can trigger. So it could be something as simple as to that they've not slept well the night before, to they didn't have their favourite pizza topping the night before, to a pet has recently been deceased, or there's something bigger going on. So a child, everything's huge, everything's life changing. And this is where it's really important to take that step back and appreciate what we might dismiss as, oh God, it's just like, we ran out of pineapple last night, get over it. To a child, it's their whole world at that point in time. They're very lucky that they don't have all the stresses we do as adults with the daily bills and the likes of it. And if we know this, then we know how we can support that child coming to a club. So even a quick note at the door and just go, look, X has happened, or an update or anything. And this is where we can then make that child feel supported within the space. We can have that conversation. We always have an area within our clubs where it's like a chill out zone. So if they want a bit of time away with some books or just pillows, whatever, they can just go into that area, have a bit of a downtime. We know they're okay and that they're wanting to go there. They're not isolated or anything like that. But everybody needs that space. We even encourage it with our staff as well, that if they need a couple of minutes to support something that they might be going through. And we try and buddy up our children, because we get a lot of regulars coming in, or you can just see who have the same interests. It's really great as a buddy system. That's really important for us as well, because although we encourage the staff to realise anybody who's in a Funfest uniform is there the same as their grown-ups, it's the same level of care. Your grown-ups just left you with us today. We're here to support you the same as them. We're here for conversation. If you're feeling happy, if you're feeling sad, anyway at all, please come and talk to us. We're here all day. We've got the time. We've got that energy to listen. And this is then where we have that. What would make you feel better? What do you need from us today? And sometimes just having that time and listening to you is so important. And we're really lucky that we can give that at our holiday clubs, because it can be long days. We're open 7:30 till 6. Some children can be there literally from 7:30 until 6. And we go through emotions. We're tired, we're happy, we're energized, we're sad, and might have fallen out with our best mate in the middle of the day as well. And it's just really important to note that even though the children could dip in and out on a pay-as-you-go system, it's every day could be different. They could have had a very different day before. There could be something on the mind. There could be something going on. And we just have to go in like every day is a new fresh day for us. And so we can therefore support. We have a system behind the scenes, so then we're building support profiles as well, so we can see what might have happened on a particular day, what worked really well to support that. We encourage parents to keep feeding back with us anything they're trying at home, to keep that circle going as well. So perhaps even if it's eating habits, then therefore what are you doing at home, we'll try and encourage it our end as well. So therefore we're doing the same thing. So because it was an interesting, we've had 5 Ofsted visits now, which we've passed completely successfully. But it was interesting because every single one was slightly different. And there's no standard format for a holiday club. So the inspectors kind of took a different approach with them all. But as one inspector said to us, you are absolutely brilliant with all the children in your care. Just with some of them, be mindful that every member of staff dealt with that child brilliantly, but it was just slightly a little bit different of how they supported that child. So although it worked and was there with that child in question, it necessarily wasn't a consistent way. So this is where we've really reflected to say, right, if we've said a particular sentence or word, we're then conveying that to each other to ensure it's exactly the same. So then that's resonating with the child and all staff members. So then we're not putting pressure if one staff member isn't in, if they're off sick or anything, then we're still supporting that child in the simplest and most effective way we can too.
That's brilliant. And do you know what? You really see that care. And you know, from my point of view as a therapist, I want to see those amazing. I mean, you do some amazing and mad kind of sessions, which are just brilliant. But you also have those kind of calming corners where they can just go and chill as well if they're just not, you know, if they're not feeling that session right now. And, you know, there's always a member of staff that goes over. I can say this because my nephew used to go to one of Helen's clubs, so I've seen it because I used to pick him up, which is really, you know, lovely. I don't know if I've ever actually told you that, but yeah, and I know that he, you know, he's got ADHD and he's amazing and he loves to join in, but kind of as the day goes on, you can see his energy wearing down. And actually, he used to just take himself off with a lot of book, and it was brilliant that he could do that. But staff would still check in and, you know, and see if he's okay, and or go over and join him, you know, reading the book and stuff. So I love that. I really love that. Um,
Oh, it's so hard. It depends what mood you're in. Same as the kids, really. I think this is why I can, in my head, I can just come up with ideas left, right, and centre. I'm constantly in Instagramming snapshots in. I'll be walking around shopping, oh, we need this. Oh, look, we can do this. My mind's a little bit bonkers like that. No, I'm a big Harry Potter fan, so the Harry Potter experience is one of my favourite activities. And also, with a new one we set up, Movie Magic. And it's funny because what we've started doing is to meet kids' expectations, we've been asking them at the start of the session what they were expecting from our activity titles. So when they're coming in, we can then build forward what their expectation is so we can make sure that we're meeting their expectation. Under the sea, we're kind of in a bit of strife because one kid thought we were literally going under the sea in the water. So unfortunately, we had to dampen that spirit there. But it's been great to kind of get that reflection of what they think that they're going to move the magic. Oh, we're just going to sit and watch a film. It's like, no, we're going to do Walk of Fame. We're going to do our own Walk of Fame, create our own Hollywood stars. We're going to get the photo booth props out. You're going to be our, you know, movie stars. We're going to make our own variations of popcorn. Not watching a film or anything like that. Whatever films are actually out and popular, we're pulling from that. So if the Minions or Paddington or Minecraft, then we try and theme it around what's exciting for them too. And they were like, wow. So it's really interesting trying to gear into the kids' heads because what we might think is either, oh God, not this again, or we think, oh, is that really cool? Oh yeah, we love this. It's not about us. Yeah, our club is completely child-led, consistently asking for feedback from the children, what they'd like to try, what's popular with them. We're getting them to show us what games that they do in the playground that we can do, as team activities or any variations on things. So it's really a collaborative club that we have, and activities like I'm a Kid. I kind of watch it. I'm a Kid, Get Me Out of You is loosely based on that. But again, it's brought to life by the children and their feedback over the time that we've been doing it. So we've turned it into this spectacular thing. I still can't try some of the bugs that we get in. So the kids are way braver than me. But again, we've got a more active version of it. We have a more chilled out version. So children never ever feel pressure to try anything into the activities that they don't want to, but they could see what they're doing, see what the friends are doing, and even just having a yoga and mindfulness, I think is really important to balance the different activities in a day. Because we're 9:30 till 3:30, so impacts with four different activities going on. And I think it's, like I say, it completely depends what children we have in, to how it completely can go still within the theme, but just pure magic. Like we can do puppets, and then suddenly we're creating whole puppet shows and theatres and everything. And the kids are enacting their favourite films and TV programs with the puppets they've made and stuff. So, well, to be honest, they all end up quite a favourite of mine now because it's literally just what the kids are wanting and bringing to life with it. And I think we're really lucky that we have a lot of children that can just feel that they can let the creativity and imagination and staff as well, because they're stuck in curriculum if their teachers are working or anything that way. It gives them that chance to express themselves and come up with ideas and it's phenomenal. We've got a brilliant core staff team at our clubs. We're very, very fortunate. Even though it's casual working, They're very committed. You know, I've had staff members with me 4 or 5 years now that just do regular work, and again, they bring their own experiences and ideas, and just help us. It just be a brilliant club.
Yeah, and I think what I like as well is that you bring outside experts in as well. So I know you have like Jen sometimes comes in and does the yoga and mindfulness. You've asked us to trial one this year, which is going to be all about brain smart. You know, it's really lovely that it's not, you know, you've got some really qualified, really experienced staff members, but also you constantly look for different ideas and you know, other providers to come in and just do one-off sessions, which you know, for the kids and for the staff, they're all learning all the time. So I think we sometimes see Holiday Club as a bit of a holiday from learning. But I think the way that you approach it is much more the kids are learning constantly, but they're learning to like learning again. You know, to try not to be too controversial, but actually they're not sat at a table writing. You know, they're being creative, they're coming up with ideas. You really empower them to be problem solvers and scientists, and which leads me nicely onto your new venture, which I'm guessing you're going to kind of get involved in the holiday clubs as well. Tell us about Gootopia.
So, sticking with the franchising work, we were looking for something to complement the holiday clubs in the fact that we've got this huge target audience. How can we reach out to them with something new and vibrant? So, Gootopia is already based down in London, and it's literally slime. That is it. You may notice something with me that I do one thing and I do it brilliantly. So the holiday clubs, we just do holiday clubs, which is why they're off the scale with quality and all the likes of it. I do an eco glitter bar. It's just eco glitter. It's not face paint. It's not anything. It's eco glitter. Slime. It's just slime. So what my mind's still completely overthrown, and especially for the fact of how fast paced it's going. So this only came about in November. So slime basically we can be mobile, we can come to your house, do a kids' party, we all make slime, have a great time. And a very loose, I'm not giving away everything we do because you need to come along and see it yourself. The gentleman who's in charge of Utopia went, oh, I really like the idea of you having a venue, like we've got a venue. Oh, venue? I never even thought of having a venue. Ken will have a venue, no problem. So in Cheshire, we appear to do things very different to London. So I currently have a wonderful man building me a bespoke slime venue, which is going to house us, which literally is going to be ready in about 3 weeks, a lot earlier than I expected. And we're going to be hosting slime workshops and birthday parties standing Saturdays and Sundays. So be able to come in, there's a really cool presentation. All the children make their own individual slime and then they collaborate to make one giant slime between them all. So you get home with loads of it. Now, parents, this guy has done something genius because this kid was covered when I went to one of his signs in slime. White wine vinegar disappeared. It was fantastic. So do not panic. The mess is with me. And then when you take it home, it's absolutely fine. But what I wanted to do with this is where they're down in London. I mean, obviously the birthday parties and workshops speak for themselves, but he's got lots of other branches that he never really explored. Now, I feel this is everything I've ever done for the past 15 years coming together in one place. So I'm a huge networker. I used to host Sublime Science Parties. I used to be Professor Bunsen Turner back in my day. And they used to also, you know, do a lot of community things, volunteering as well. So what we're going to look into doing is make it a real community hub. So we're going to be based just outside of Nantwich. It's a place called Gate Farm Rural Enterprise Park. But if you follow the Gootopia social media, then it's going to be part of that anyway. And you'll see it advertised everywhere during April because we're planning for our official launch date in May, just to give you a heads up. And we're going to look at so many different aspects. So because I can cross over my staff, I've got a fantastic staff team that I could support working term time as well as holiday time. We're going to be looking at SEN sessions. We're going to be looking at toddler sessions. We'll be supporting the homeschooling groups out there as well. We can do corporate team building. We're going to do wine and slime. Yes, grown-ups, there's one for you. Dine and slime, possibly as well with coffee and cake. We're going to do student nights. We're going to be doing networking events. And also we can go into schools or schools will be able to come to us because it does align with the science curriculum. So it's going to be fantastic. It's It's just, yeah, my life is surrounded by slime. It sounds a little bit crazy, but I'm so excited with it. Especially we do glow in the dark slime, and during the school holidays, when you don't need childcare, but you need an experience to go and do for the day, then literally you can come to us. We'll have specials every single holiday. So February is galactic space line. In summer, I believe it's tropical. Easter, there's obviously Easter. So it's going to be really, really exciting to say the least. So when you see Gootopia in the northwest, that is me. And you'll have to come along and have a visit. We're penciled in at the moment for the 5th of May, Bank Holiday Monday. Now, on the farm, there is going to be an open day anyway. So all the different businesses that are based there, so there's jewelry making, pottery, there's loads of different things on this farm. We're all going to be there as an open day anyway, so you'll be able to come along and see what's what really. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting.
So I obviously, as we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, as this was all kicking off, I was getting so excited. Wine and slime. Now, I think as a parent, you think, oh no, please don't open that tub of slime because all you can think about is your couch, your carpet, blah, blah, blah. But the feel of slime is so relaxing, and making your own slime with a glass of wine, Helen, you've nailed it. I think your whole career has been leading to that one night for me. Absolutely. I can't wait.
This is it, and it is really great for mental health and well-being as well, because you're going to be able to add into your slime. So for each individual person, you're looking at, you can add in textures, you can add in scents, you can add in colours, and you can add in more sensory material. I think this is really, really important, which is why I like the team building aspect as well, because you've got a whole corporate team, but how neurodiverse, how do you support everybody within your team? How do you support those that aren't necessarily people who like to being totally physical, to those that like mentally challenged, to loads of different aspects? This is something that every different level of person can take something from. And just to have that, it's like a stress ball, I suppose, almost as well. So you've got that feeling, you've got that momentum, you've got that relaxing kind of element to it. So and it just will make people smile. And I think we need to do more of that these days. And this is why we decided to go down the experience route, because, and not just for kids, I think everybody needs it. I do something with my glitter bar that if the kid pays, the adult gets one free, because I think we just need to enjoy ourselves a lot more and just let go, and it's okay. Sequins aren't just for Christmas, you know.
I think that's lovely. And at time of recording, Helen and I are about to go to a conference later in the week. And Helen's taking a glitter bar. I'm going to be as part of the volunteer flight squad for Danny and the big festoon. And actually, I said to it, like, I can't wait to get my glitter on. Like, literally cannot wait to get my glitter on. And I think you're absolutely right. We need to be seeking out these moments of joy, these experiences for our own mental health, that dopamine hit that you get, that you see somebody with glitter on, you can't help but smile at them. Do you know what I mean? So it's absolutely brilliant. Helen, before we finish, tell us, what do you think that, oh, and just so you all know, we're going to put the Gootopia, we're going to put all for booking, if you want to jump on Helen's Holiday Club, if you're in the Cheshire area and you want to jump in, then we will put all of these details in the show notes. So don't worry. And we'll send it out on the newsletter on Saturday as well. So just to kind of to help parents, what should you be looking for when you're choosing a holiday?
It's really important that you understand who you're putting your children with. You need to be confident, you need to be reassured. This is why I try and be as visible as I can on social medias, because it's really hard, because it's a franchise, there's 30 of us across the country, but you're coming to mine and I want you to feel reassured. We are here, we have got the best people to support your children. There's so many layers behind our holiday club, because it's all we do. So we are on top of the policies, the training, the safeguarding, the Ofsted, the activity planning. It's all we do. So it's really important for us to ensure that you have the best quality, and just you're happy, the children are happy, my staff are happy. For me, it's a whole collective. If everybody's happy, then everybody's going to have a great time there. So grown-ups always look into parent recommendation is the biggest thing. I'm currently on the hunt for a holiday club reps at the moment for my holiday club. So some parents are going to accrue free holiday childcare days for just shouting about how much they love our club, because they're always telling me. So I'm going to utilize them to go and tell other parents, because it's great to get the recommendations. But obviously, with the offset registration, you've got that extra guarantee there, parents, as well as being able to use childcare voucher options for payment as well. Look at your hours, your extension. Go on the Facebook, look at photos, see what it's about. It's really hard. We don't open term time, so you can't come in and visit until we are actually open. But we'll always try and accommodate. Drop an email, give us a phone call. Got all the time in the world to sit and talk you through exactly what we do, what to expect, so you're reassured. Because you know we really want to make it a team. It's a partnership, and that's completely it, between us and the parents and the schools that we rent as well, to make sure that everybody's safe, everybody's having a great time. And just make sure you do the EU research, make sure that your kids are happy. Remember, it's them that are in there on the day, not you grown up. So if you're not too sure if you'd enjoy it, they're the ones that are going to be in there. So really, to get that value of money. Some of our kids, we just go grown ups, they need a sports camp or something. They're mad about sports. They love it. We only do little tasters. It's about just having that honest conversation and just supporting everybody. So yeah, grown ups, definitely utilize your holiday clubs and use them for you too. Because even if you're off all the time with your kids, it would be nice for you to have just a bit of space as well.
I love the fact that you're gonna, if you've already been to one of your clubs as a parent, and you recruit some other parents to send their kids. Which, let's face it, who doesn't want to go to a holiday club with their mate? So you're probably recruiting friends that they're gonna get, rewarded with their free childcare days. I love it, Helen. Brilliant. Listen, just to kind of round up, and this is more because we kind of always ask these kind of questions on the Resilient Kid podcast, is what's one thing that you wish every child knew about themselves?
I think it's just
I actually thought then you were going to be
they
speechless,
just
which would be the first time I've ever seen Helen speechless, by the way.
No, there's so many things I'd want for every child, to be honest. It's really hard to pinpoint one. I think for me, is the confidence, not to necessarily be life and soul of the party, but the confidence to just give things a go. So whether it's something new to them or something they're not sure about, it's just being it. They're not fearful of other people's opinions and trajectories, and just think, actually, I'm gonna give that a go. Didn't like it, whatever. I can have my own opinion about that, and that's okay. That would be just brilliant for all kids at the minute, because we do see a lot of it where, oh, I wish I'd tried that, I wish I'd done that. Why didn't you? In those conversations, and they're worried a lot of the time about what other children are thinking of them if they don't do it well straight away and things like that. So for me, yeah, it'd be just confidence in giving things a go, not even in themselves, just giving things a go and knowing it's okay, that you don't have to be the same level, think exactly like somebody else, even if they're friends or anything like that. I think that would be massive. That would be really, really just great for all kids.
And I think that's something that your kids club does, is allows them to be themselves and allows them to try new things and be that little step towards braver, irrespective of who else is there. So thank you for that, Helen. Honestly, there's not many places that I recommend, because I see when things don't go right, and a lot of my work is picking up the pieces. And actually, Helen, I have, tested it firsthand with my nephew. He really enjoyed it. I listened to parents, and actually, I do recommend you to my parents, because I think it's really important that it's a safe pair of hands. And that's what it feels like whenever any of the kids collectively, or my kids that I see, come to your kid club. I always feel like it's a safe pair of hands, and they're going to have fun, obviously. Um, Listen, I just want to say thank you for joining us. Good luck with Gootopia. I cannot wait to see that open. And really, really, save me a spot with the wine and slime. I'm going to be there with a gang of mates.
To be honest, I think all the parents of all the kids while they're in holiday club, I'm going to be doing some wine and slime for the parents. I think that's where it's going to go. But no, it's going to be brilliant. It really is. But if you do want any spaces, parents, for Easter, please double check dates, because Cheshire and Stockport, for example, are completely different dates at Easter. and we have got limited spaces available. So just head online and make sure that you do book in. We've got massive Easter parties going on. The Easter bunnies come in to visit for our Easter egg hunts. We've got a beekeeper coming especially for Spring Gardens to talk about bees and going into detail with that. We've got circus skills, animals coming in. Oh, there's loads going on. So just go and see your individual club timetables.
Just tell us, Helen, before you finish, where are your clubs located?
So in Northwich, we are now at Harford Manor Primary School. And this is amazing because we've got the whole school. We can split into our early years because we're early years Ofsted registered. So we do take from 3 to then we take up to 12 years old. So they've got their own separate base rooms with the opportunity to be together throughout the day as well. Also at Cransley School up in Great Budworth, the beautiful, beautiful grounds up there. We're really, really privileged to be able to use that facility, which offers extended opening hours as per an independent school. And then we move further afield over to Stockport Cheadle. So we're in Held Green, Bramall, and also we're opening in Poynton in summer, which was going to be a Cheshire East club, even though it's in Stockport. And we are looking around Wilmslow and Knutsford area. So if you know a school that needs a holiday club, let me know and we can literally get it open in time for summer. So if you think your school would benefit from having its own club where your kids feel confident going to their own school, then let me know. Just drop me a note.
Helen, thank you so much for joining us today and all your top tips for parents. And I think often we see holiday clubs as giving kind of parents a bit of a rest or that they've got to carry on working, but I don't think they realise the benefits of that and also the fun. Like you know, that is the thing. You absolutely do put fun into the holiday clubs. Thanks very much for joining us today, Helen.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing what comes next.
Yay! Thanks for joining us, everyone. This is the Resilient Kid podcast. Check out the show notes to see Helen's not only her clubs, her holiday clubs, where they are, how you can sign up for your kid to join one of, but also Gootopia. Who doesn't want a bit of goo? Like wine and slime with Helen. Take care, everyone. Lots of love. Bye for now.